I've never seen an inflatable paddleboard like this, and that's even if I can call it a paddleboard. I've tested several inflatable paddleboards, and none of them had a pedal drive system like the BOTE Rackham Aero does. Yes, you heard that right. This paddleboard is a pedal board. Okay, I'm sorry, all dad jokes aside, it was designed to be paddled or pedaled, which is freaking awesome in my opinion. It kind of reminds me of the Hobie Lynx, and today is only my second time taking it out, so I thought I'd offer you my honest first impressions of the BOTE Rackham Aero with pedal drive system. When I first picked up the box, I noticed that it was heavy, and that was without the pedal drive system. I always thought one of the big benefits of inflatable kayaks was that they're more lightweight, but I wouldn't want to carry this, even in the bag, very far because it's pretty heavy. Now, it's not as heavy as my hard-sided kayaks, but it's much heavier than any other inflatable paddleboard that I've ever tested, especially when the pedal drive system is installed. As I unrolled this paddleboard, I noticed one of my favorite features, and that is the raised sides. That's right, it's got two chambers, similar to like what an inflatable kayak would have, but the outer chamber doesn't raise as high, so it's still got that paddleboard look, paddleboard feel, but all my gear won't necessarily just slide off the side if I lean over the side a little bit. The next thing that I noticed was that this is actually designed for fishing. They actually have some features that will really benefit the anglers. One that really stands out to me, this little magnet that they have installed to hold your pliers, to hold your hooks, to hold whatever is magnetic. I think that's freaking awesome. They also, of course, have some rod holders you can install. They've got the bungees that you need, but one of the biggest surprises was this rail system. I couldn't believe that an inflatable kayak finally put a rail system on. I was pumped to see this. Let's get to the main feature, and that is the pedal drive system. First of all, it's very heavy. I believe it's like some kind of cast metal. I don't know my metals very well, but I do know that it's not just some cheap sheet metal or cheap aluminum. Pretty heavy. I've already ran into some stuff, so it seems to be well built so far, but installing it is pretty easy once you get the hang of it. I will say it's loose when you pedal it, and I'm not a huge fan of that. I just feel like I'm losing some power every time I give a stroke and stroke and stroke. I just feel like there's too much wiggle room there. Speaking of power, it's not too difficult to pedal forward or pedal backwards. There's not a lot of resistance is what I mean by that. I've pedaled some pedal drives that they're labor intensive, and you're not going very fast, and you're putting a lot more effort into it than you're getting in return moving across the water. And that's not the case with this pedal drive. And my other big complaint about the pedal drive is really more related to the seat and being short-legged. I'm only 5'6", I got short little legs, and I've shortened the straps about as much as I can, and it's just barely short enough for me. I might be able to shorten them a little bit more to make it more comfortable, but I am like maxed out on my leg when it's fully straightened out, and I would like to have a little bit of bend left just to have more power and make it a more relaxing pedal. So the other thing I wanted to know was, how stable is it? And I'm trusting my camera standing up here like this, so I've got some faith in it. It's pretty stable. I can rock back and forth and don't feel like I'm just gonna flip right away. I actually stood up and fished a little bit today. It's just windy, so I have no control over the paddleboard when I'm standing up, so I prefer to sit down and fish, but it's definitely plenty stable enough to fish on those calm days or in a calm area. Honestly, I skipped this over and saved it till last because it's probably the biggest con in my opinion, and that's the price. You'll notice it first, it's crazy expensive. I'm talking $1,800 for just the paddleboard. Now you get all the accessories with it, yes, except for the pedal drive system. You have to purchase the pedal drive system separately, and that's like another $300–400. All in all, you're in it for $2,100–2,200 just to get on the water with the pedal drive. And I've tested several other inflatable kayaks, inflatable paddleboards, and none of them are quite that expensive. Those are my honest first impressions of the BOTE Rackham Aero with a pedal drive system. I'm gonna create a full-blown review, but because I was enjoying it so much, I wanted to get my first thoughts out there and let people know that, hey, I like it, but there's definitely some room for improvement. Now, if you wanna see some more kayak and paddleboard reviews, check out this playlist right here, and I can't wait to see you there.